Alrighty, hello every folks, and good morning. Welcome to a little bit of a reminder review for probably my favorite classic roguelike type of thing here. Now, look, a lot of things have been designated as roguelikes at this point. It is practically a meme, but when it comes to classic roguelikes, I'm specifically talking about stuff like NetHack, like the ones that are typically here is whole, you are in whole, the world is ridiculously interactive. Figure out how to go get the MacGuffin, and you're just kind of off to the races at that point. And that's basically exactly what Sword of the Stars The Pit is. You're on a fringe planet in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and on this nowhere planet, there happens to be an outbreak coming from a lab known as the Pit. For essentially this outbreak goes and turns everybody into like friggin' like Nemesis from Resident Evil. They're functionally unkillable. They can't really actually fight the hordes, as it were. And the only way to cure anybody is hopefully at the bottom of this pit. Now every one of these characters are coming in with different backgrounds, mechanics, and everything else. But again, this is a very classic style roguelike, so we'll just go ahead and set it to fast seriously real quick so that we can discuss things without the crazy loud menu music. This is actually one of those weird things where this game's main menu music is like twice the volume of any other sound in the game for some reason. Anyway, so every one of these characters will function a decent bit differently. You know, like the Marine coming in with a lot of heavy armament, but he's not very good at dealing with any medical stuff. Not very good at figuring out how traps work or any mechanical type stuff. You got your Engineer that's more of a kind of a craft it yourself sort, being able to make a lot of things that others might not be able to, being able to access computers others might not be able to. But at the same time, he's kind of hopeless when it comes to actual survival stuff. You got like the scout who's more of a survival expert and also learns a lot faster than everybody else, but they're very frail. You got stuff like the scion that's like a space wizard. The ranger moves faster. I'm going to mention all of the classes here specifically because the version that's currently on sale includes all of what previously was the DLC. So this is on sale with every DLC pack that this game ever came with. Now, I think probably my favorite guy, we'll cover him last, is the warrior here. Just everything about him is my favorite. You got like Space Dolphin that's basically a cannon. You got the Striker that's like a techno dragon. You got the Shepherd who commands others under him because he's a cult leader. You've got the Mercenary who's kind of like a bigger version of the Ranger there, like having a combination of a lot of the other physical classes. I guess you could argue that this is sort of like your Paladin sort. He's mainly the tank of the group. You got the Lich who brings stuff back as undead creatures to follow him. You got the medic who comes with a lot of kind of unique stuff like a dart gun that can heal allies and whatnot. Anyways. Oh yeah, and then Sergeant Gunny. He's a alternate Marine, but he's also a hidden character. But let's say like the warrior guy is my personal favorite because he's just a complete and total dumbass. like this guy comes in with some of the coolest gear in the game, including a gunblade. But he's kind of hopeless. Like he can barely feed himself. He has a unique type of food that works especially good for him by putting grubs into what's effectively an oatmeal muffin, and he ends up destroying both materials most of the time that you're trying to do it. He's hopelessly dumb and generally agreed upon to be the worst character in the game, and he is my favorite. So let's go ahead and get into this here. So, how exactly does this work? Well, just like classic roguelikes, you essentially have one turn after another, and what you do during that turn will determine quite a few things. Like, for example, in this particular case, we would have spent 2 turns in order to gain access to this tree and hopefully get one of these fruits on it. Unfortunately, he failed, and so we ended up getting attacked instead. There's a lot of different things that can happen. That was probably one of the worst spawns there, where we ended up getting 2 large bats that took away his near non-existent mental juices over here. We got some ice gems over here that might be able to give us an item to deal with hunger for a little bit, but unfortunately, no such luck there. Also, if you don't like little callouts, you can turn those off. I personally find them kind of charming, but let's go ahead and continue here. So, as time ticks on, so like if you're standing still, it's just currently your turn, but as time ticks on, you end up losing some of your hunger meter, and any other things in the world that were going on happen to continue going on. You got enemies going on patrols, you got computers trying to clean up the area. You got monsters trying to go feed themselves, all kinds of different things. And so, like in this particular case, what I'm trying to do, in order to hopefully improve things a little bit, actually one of the things I forgot to do is take his armor off because I don't want it getting damaged. Right now, I'm trying to improve his pistol skill. So I'm using the blade on this pistol in order to level it up without using any ammunition, which is a thing you can do. As you can see, pistol skill keeps going up. If your skills are low enough, you improve them by going and using that particular weapon. And you also get a full heal upon getting a level, so that's why I'm not too worried about taking additional damage at this point. So we'll go ahead and deal with all these random mobs that came our way. Take a couple of turns to go deal with this. And we got one of those ice gems, which is one of those things we were digging for before. Now, one of the ways that you get ahead in this game is by learning what all of your different items do. So, for example, this oatmeal muffin that he comes with is pretty good. It does especially good feeding him. However, if he gets a hold of grubs, he can vastly improve these, so it would be beneficial to try and learn how to make food with him, and also maybe keep these around to be a little bit more efficient as far as that goes. This one is definitely one that you want to try to be at least a little bit efficient, as it were. He comes with a few tools to help him with some stuff, like, for example, bypass circuits to get him past certain computer systems, as well as a multi-tool to hopefully get him past some technical checks, and some grenades to get him out of jams, as well as a flamethrower. But for now, we'll take our free thing over here. We'll improve our finesse and might a little bit. These do actually affect quite a decent bit of stuff around you. For example, if you have higher brains, you'd be able to detect that traps are around you a decent bit more, and every time you use the skill to level up, you would end up taking fewer points in order to level it up over here. So in this particular case, we got 4 points available. We foraged through a pile, so we get to have a roll for improving foraging. We'll take that there. Let's go ahead and take a look at biotech to improve our food. There we go, got a 3 roll on that. And then lastly, we got pistol over here, which can go up to a natural of 45. At the moment, I'm not sure if I necessarily want to take that, considering that as it stands, he's just going to continue leveling it up, so it's kind of just a waste of a point. So instead, I'm going to put some points into telekinesis so that hopefully he can eventually learn to manipulate stuff from far away. Because everything is a trap in this game. Even the devs basically said that the whole thing is designed as one big troll fest. So there's going to be a lot of cases when, for example, you take a look at a room and it's like, oh, it looks perfectly safe. Then you walk into the room, 3 of the things wound up being gimmicks, and then one of the other things wound up being explosive. The entire room blows up, half your items are melted, and you're left like barely clinging to life, you know? Alright, so that turret didn't notice us yet. So I'm going to go ahead and take a turn here, take 1 shot, but that's fine because he's got inbuilt armor. I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Yeah, he hates all the complicated things. He's relatable. Anyway, so yeah, you don't get swarmed by this many tiny enemies in every situation. This is like basically just the sort of intro zone to give you a chance to work on some of your weapon skills and whatnot. But this is one of those ones where there's a ton of tiny little tricks that you pick up along the way. You know, things like taking free damage with like your gunplay there to improve your pistol skill, saving your ammo for later, and learning what to spend ammo on and what not to spend ammo on is one of those important tricks that you learn. Because if you start running around blasting everything, your odds of success are basically nothing. And in fact, one of those things you also want to learn is even if you manage to get to the end, if you don't have a long-range rifle by the time you get to the final room, there's almost no chance of actually beating the last boss outside of sniping them. Also, apparently I was swinging at the wrong tile and ended up carving away the door instead. Oopsie. Go deal with all these. Again, very classic kind of stuff here, just bats and rats out the wazoo. And so as you play along, you start to pick up on those again, little nuances. Stuff like, for example, in the starting room, there's not really too much of a threat. There's a lot of rooms to search through, but it may or may not be beneficial to go into certain rooms. Like a lot of times if you hear a robotic sound, that's an immediate kind of hint to basically walk out of whatever room you were just in. Oh, fantastic, a crowbar. Basically walk out of whatever room you were in and immediately put on your armor before entering in there, because you're probably about to get blasted by robots. Like security rooms in particular, just like as soon as you see that door, that's when you armor up, because like you can take scratches and stuff like that pretty okay, but you know, things like gunshots and whatnot, you actually want to have protected. That's why I took that armor off. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at our movement counter up here. See, we have 2. Take 2 shots with this pistol, because there's actually a decent chance that this thing will refund us for those shots. And we'll actually leave it half loaded for the moment. It would take time to reload our gun, and additionally, having lower ammo count on your gun makes it more likely that you'll find drops of those particular ammo types, especially when using your foraging skill. So like whenever you're looking through something, your foraging skill is kind of like a secondary roll that determines what kinds of stuff you may potentially get as an extra. And so if you, for example, keep your guns empty, it's like, oh, this character clearly needs more bullets. This is going to be not worth it. We're just going to take more damage to our stuff because it's going to explode. A lot of computers can explode. Alright. That's unfortunate. So we're just going to hold here. Deal with this doorway. Alright, and will that be enough? Not quite. Yeah, that is a decent bit tougher than usual, but that is what this difficulty is about. And then one of those little details is that you always want to keep at least one weapon loaded, even if you are using the unloading trick, because of that right there. So we're actually going to take one of these real quick, chuck it right there, take our free level up, take our heal, because I heard a hiss from the snake in the background. I knew it was coming at some point. That thing is a big threat. That would have been an instant kill like a second ago. But then also, here, let's go ahead and do more finesse here. Let's go ahead and do more telekinesis, do more biotech, and more foraging, please, because this guy needs all the help he can get. Raw materials are kind of his bread and butter. No pun intended there. Actually, we'll go ahead and do one of these. Go ahead and burninate the snake. A little bit poisoned, that's alright. Higher strength than this guy means that he's probably going to be able to shake that off pretty... Oh, he's got, like, near max poison. That's near fatal already. 10 is fatal. Yeah, he re-got me with the 9. Do I have anything to get rid of this? It's been a bit of a minute, so I might not remember some of the tricks here. But, like, some foods will reduce your poison and whatnot. So for the moment, I'm just going to do that. Going to limp our way in here. Hope this goes down to 9. There we go. Because the damage is 1. Okay. Yeah, so power, like his brain, he's nearly dying of brain damage right now, just from that one snake. His stats keep going down. Alright, yeah, I think this gets rid of disease. Helps your immune system and whatnot. Take a couple of patches, I suppose, since those are basically your way to deal with some of this. Oh, nope. Died of brain damage. Now, this game is hard to cover for obvious reasons. Like, its format is definitely a bit more of that, like, long-form, classic type stuff here. So he died of losing brain power to poison, unfortunately. And yeah, then you get like a stats breakdown and everything else for whatever characters you had here, and then you got your old high scores and whatnot. So yeah, for some reason it only kept some of them. Wait, does it not have my old high scores? Oh, bullshit. I'm going to have to figure out how to get those back. Because I've actually beaten seriously with this guy before, but it took like months of finagling. It kept all the achievements, but apparently not the high scores. That's some bullshit. That's kind of annoying, actually. Kept all of the unlocks, so like as you... Oh, did it actually? Huh. Interesting, okay. Well, apparently I kept the achievements and none of the unlocks. That's a weird one. Okay. Well, gotta fix that at some point. Anyway, it's a fun game. It's a really fun game. It's one that I would definitely reasonably recommend. Its controls do actually work on Steam Deck, but yeah, just bear in mind that it is going to be a little bit different than you're maybe used to. And yeah, that's kind of about it. So I just wanted to throw out a reminder that this existed, and yeah, that's kind of about that. And if you wanted to have even more of the sort of like classic NetHack type experience, ye old striker over here is probably going to be your favorite thing, because this one moves so slow that they only ever get to move one tile on their turn, and yeah, that's a bit of a thing. And as time goes on, by the way, there's a lot of the classic stuff you'd expect. So, like for example, being able to transmogrify into other stuff, being able to convert your equipment to other stuff, yeah, all kinds of custom modified gear and what have you. There's a lot of goodies like that. So, anyway, y'all have yourselves a good one there. Make sure to give this one a try, and I will see you next time. Bye.